So, trauma, as you know, it doesn't only affect your emotions, it affects your ability to move forward. You see, the fact that you know that something bad can happen can only cripple you, it can make you paralyzed. Because the other time you tried, it didn't work, right? The other time you tried a relationship, you were betrayed by someone who didn't even care whether you are going to end it or like a whole lot of people are passing through stuff. For that one, I can tell you, I've passed through my fair share of these problems. But you see, once you are traumatized and you've been shocked, it impedes success. And this video focuses on how trauma impedes your success, how it affects your growth and your ability to move on in life. You see, there are certain people who trusted some friends or family members so easily, and they just divulged some information that they shouldn't have shared, or they shared something that is private with their lives. Before they knew it, it was all around town, and everyone got to ridicule them and look down on them just because of the trust they had in sharing their thoughts to people. Once you've experienced this, there's no going back from it. Yes, if you may say, because the traumatic event from that one alone is going to prevent you from ever putting yourself out there or ever putting your news out there. And even if you have a problem, you're going to be tempted to put it to yourself, keep it to yourself. That is, you become afraid of judgment, fear of judgment. The other way it affects you is self-sabotage. Now, you see, once you've been in certain situations and the situation didn't work well for you, let's say you've been betrayed, you've been traumatized in your childhood, and you have met people who actually treated you like something that shouldn't exist. And now, once you've experienced that, it affects you, it shocks you, and it's always on your mind. Now you meet someone who is very good, and you're like, this is too good to be true. Maybe there's something prepared for me in the end. There's a surprise somewhere. And that alone can make you behave in certain ways that will make you lose the fortune that you're about to get. Let's say you have a business that's failed miserably, and now you venture into another business, and you see, this business is working well, but your trust in the business is so low because the other business didn't work. Like business rise and fall. So this one, in spite of it rising, is going to fall. That alone is called self-sabotage. I know of a lot of stories where some ladies have entered into relationships that weren't abusive. Yes, that is after surviving an abusive relationship prior to that. And immediately they entered this relationship and the relationship was peaceful. They were like, we are not used to it. Why is this gentleman so calm? Why is he not fighting with me? And a whole lot. So they had to actually push for a fight. If the man doesn't fight with them, then the relationship is not normal because for all that they have registered relationship to be is something that is full of abuse. And you see, it all came from trauma. It all came from these unpleasant experiences. That alters the mind. It alters how the mind performs, how the mind responds to stimuli. So now something good becomes not too good because a bad element which you expected doesn't exist. So you end up sabotaging it yourself. You end up doing a couple of things that will destroy something good that you have. It lowers your self-worth. Do you know there are certain people, in spite of how good people praise them, in spite of how well they are being told that, oh, you can do this, you can do that, they are never going to accept it. They have a very low self-esteem for themselves. And no matter what you do, they just can't help it, but they fall back to this low self-esteem. It's not their fault. You see, we all struggle with this thing when you've passed through certain situations and you think you form your identity, around these situations. So that if you were bullied in school, you internalize it that, oh, you are a weak person and you deserve it. There's nothing good that can come out of you. If you've been verbally abused by someone you trusted, perhaps you had a teacher or someone who told you that you are good for nothing, nothing good can come out of you. That is traumatic. You can internalize all these beliefs, and in spite of how good you are performing, in spite of how good someone will compliment you, that you are really good at this thing, So do it. It rings in your head. Maybe you might not remember that particular situation, but it forms your subconscious that no matter how good people praise me, no matter how well I do at things, I'm a good for nothing person. I can't really accomplish much. And this forms your low self esteem. So, for those of you who have been struggling with self esteem issues and have been battling low image issues, check your history. You might have experienced some traumatic event that affected you. Another way is procrastination. So, do you find yourself always putting things off? It's not always the case that you are lazy. Yes, well, sometimes it could be that you are just bored of things or you are overburdened. But a lot of the cases of procrastination comes from trauma. Because once you've experienced some particular situation and it wasn't comfortable, when someone presents you a new situation that is similar to that one, you might be tempted to put it off. So much so that, oh, if someone tells you to start a new business, right after you've lost so much money from your previous business, you are like, I'm going to try this later. Once you have been in a relationship that didn't work out, or you were abused, or you were threatened, if you meet similar situations that might not necessarily be threatening, might not necessarily come with all these factors, you are tempted to put it off because your mind automatically goes back to last time this happened. The other day I trusted someone, I was betrayed. When I was growing up, even my dad, even my mom, who I trusted very much, told me this. I believed this person so much that I was defrauded. You see, your brain always goes back to that. So when you meet something that is similar to that, you are tempted to just postpone. You're like you want to procrastinate. You want to be careful. It's good to be careful, though, but you want to just procrastinate, put it off because you were traumatized. It becomes very hard for you to trust people. As I'm talking to you, it's very difficult for me to trust people because I've been betrayed several times. And it's a battle that I'm still struggling. I'm still struggling to just overcome. Yes. When you trust people so much and they betray you like no one's business, as if they never knew you. All these things affect your ability to trust people. So that if you meet even people who are better, people who actually respect you and have your best interest at heart, you might not end up trusting them. No matter how well they perform, no matter how good they are to you, you are going to always be fishing out stuff. You are always going to look at stuff. Maybe there's something that is hidden. Maybe there's something that this person is doing secretly. Maybe there's something I have to look at. A whole lot of things happens. So at the end of the day, your mind, your thought process is affected. Now, listen, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are struggling with trauma and traumatic events and all that, listen, I'm here for you and I understand what you feel. I understand what it takes to be traumatized, what it takes to be betrayed by people you respect, people you love so dearly. And you see, trauma is very hard to overcome, but with little confident and bold steps, we are going to overcome. We shall overcome someday, okay? So always have it in your heart that no matter what the challenges life passes you through, whether from your childhood days or whether you've tempted something and you got shocked, and up till now you are living in fear, you are living in some kind of traumatic. Listen, I know what you are feeling. It's very hard to overcome trauma, but take a few bold steps, a step at a time, day by day. You are going to overcome this. Now, comment in the comment section how trauma is affecting you, how it is changing your way of life. Is trauma doing something to you that maybe you didn't know it was your trauma that is affecting you, but is trauma affecting how you are doing your stuff? Comment in the comment section how you feel, what trauma is doing to you, and let me know how you are handling it. Subscribe if you are new here, and also click on the notification button to get updates on future uploads. The name is Boache. Till we meet again, stay safe. Peace.